Hello, welcome to another video. So this is going to be a weekend reading vlog and I'm going to be reading a full series this weekend. Now, the reason I'm doing this is yesterday, which is a Thursday, today's Friday by the way, Friday the 26th. Yesterday I got a message from one of my colleagues saying, could I pick up a last minute campaign for a certain book? And I was like, yeah, of course I can. Then I realised it's like the second in the series. And I was like, okay, actually that's a series I really want to read anyway. So I'm reading it all this weekend. So if you didn't know, I work for a company called Tandem Collective. We're a marketing company. We run read-alongs for books. And the book that I am working on is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Now I need to get this one read this weekend. But before I can get to this one, I need to have read Powerless. And because last week I went book shopping and I bought 3 books, I also bought Powerful. So I'm going to read all 3 of these this weekend. Because, well, I'm only actually being paid to work on Reckless, but because they are a series that I'm reading for work now, I'm not going to be giving you ratings or reviews. I'm only going to be kind of like telling you like my thoughts as I go. The reason I do that, I don't know if I've ever actually explained this, the reason I do that is because I'm being paid to work on this book. I want to still maintain like my own integrity on this channel. So I don't want you to think that I'm giving like 5-star glowing reviews just because I'm being paid to work on a book. And because of that as well, I'm not going to give a negative review on a book that I'm working on. Because again, that just feels a little bit icky, like I'm being paid to promote this book. I'm not going to be like, it's shit. So I just choose to not give any reviews or ratings on books that I'm being paid to work on. Just so that basically means that you know that every other review and rating that I give is my own honest opinions and I'm not being paid to say any of that. So, Powerless. It is currently about 2 p.m. I have done some work this morning. I've pretty much done all the work I needed to do today. It's one of those where, yeah, I could do a bit more, but I'm gonna read instead. I'm currently watching Gav's sprints. His sprints they will last until he finishes the book, which is great for me because I've got 3 books to read. So I'm obviously starting off with Powerless. If you don't know, Powerless is a YA fantasy. It's kind of, I feel like it's going to be similar to like Hunger Games. So we've got the elites who possessed powers for decades, and the ordinaries that are banished from the kingdom and shunned from society. Our main character is Padrin, who is an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elites. She unsuspectingly saves one of the princes called Kai, and then she's thrown into the Purge and Trials, which is a competition showcasing the elite's powers, which kind of gives me the Hunger Games vibes. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will, if he discovers what Paden is, completely ordinary. So I'm excited for this one. Powerful, I believe, follows like a side character. This one is like a novella that is not necessary reading, but because I own it, I'm going to read it. And Reckless is book 2 in the trilogy. It has only just come out. Book 3 will be out, I don't know when, at another time. This trilogy, it's about 1,000, just over 1,000 pages. I think I can do that. My weekend is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I feel like I can do that this weekend. Powerless is the longest, that's 500 pages, but it is YA fantasy, so I feel like I should be able to get into it quite quickly. The other 2, Powerful is like 250 pages and Reckless is like 350, so they're not long books, but I am not going to get any reading done if I am just here talking to you. So I'm going to stop talking to you, pick up Powerless. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to stop talking to you. I'm going to make myself a cuppa. I might make myself some lunch because it's 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten anything. Or I might not. Haven't decided. I'll decide that once I've got a cup of tea in my hand. And then I'm going to start reading Powerless. And let's see how we get on. I'll probably check back in with you at like the 100, when I'm at about the 100 page mark, and let you know how I'm getting on. So, see you. So it's 5 o'clock now, and I'm finally at the 100-page mark in Powerless. So yeah, it's taken me nearly 3 hours to read that first 100 pages, which is a lot slower than I thought it would. But that's fine. I have got all weekend to read these 3 books. We'll get there. So in the first 100 pages, we've met our main characters of Payden and Kai. They've had a run-in with each other as well, which is always fun. And we're now starting to see the kind of Hunger Games element. So the trials have been announced. Payden has been taken to the palace and, like, glammed up. And now all of the competitors are meeting each other. It is very, very Hunger Games coded, even to the extent that all of, like, the rich, the elite people have brightly coloured hair. So, we've got one of the characters has got lilac hair. Even Payden has got silver hair. Like, we had someone earlier who had, like, navy blue hair. They all have, like, yeah, bright coloured hair. So back it off me. She stepped straight on my stomach then. So I am completely picturing basically Effie from the Hunger Games. But I am enjoying it so far. The first 100 pages have been good. Fairly fast paced. And I'm looking forward now to kind of seeing what's going to happen now, because I feel like the setup has now been done. So I'm looking for a little bit more plot to kind of come in. But 100 pages done. I will update you again at the next 100-page mark. Hello, it's now 8:30 and I am at the page 200 mark. I am reading this so much slower than I thought I would. But things are heating up. I am loving the, like, banter and, like, flirty hate banter basically between Kai and Payden. Really, really loving their, like, relationship. The trials are about to start. This is so Hunger Games coded, and I am, like, 500% here for it. But yeah, so things are starting to heat up. I'm hoping that now at the 200-page mark, the trials are about to start. I'm hoping that the pace, like, it's fast-paced. It's fast-paced, but not very much is happening. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a little bit more action and get the story moving a little bit quicker. Because at the moment it's been a lot of build-up and a lot of, like, fighting scenes. This is reminding me a lot of the first Throne of Glass book. So the book Throne of Glass, not the series. In that there's a lot of, like, training scenes and fighting scenes and infighting and all of this sort of build up to a competition, to a trial. It's kind of given me as much Throne of Glass vibes as it is Hunger Games. I feel like the setting is slightly more Hunger Games, but the writing is a bit more Throne of Glass. But yeah, having fun with this one so far. Like I said, I'm 200 pages in. It's 8:30. I don't remember if I said this earlier, but I am watching Gavin on sprints, and he clearly read my mind today, because he's doing these sprints will last until I finish the book. So he's reading Salem's Lot and has got about 200 pages to go, although I can see Gav, he's playing on his phone, not reading. There's 5 minutes left of this current sprint. I think we're probably looking to be sprinting until about midnight. I don't think I'm likely to get 300 pages read before midnight, because obviously I'm going to get more tired and slow down more. I would like to I'd like to get this, like a really good chunk of this one read today, because I want to tomorrow be able to finish Powerless and read Powerful. So I'm hoping that if I can get like, my watch is telling me that I have been sitting too long. I know, I've been sat down all day reading. I'd like to try and get to about the page 350, 400 mark, I think, of Powerless tonight. But I'm basically going to keep on going until I can't read anymore, until I'm tired, too tired to go on. We'll see how we go. I'm slightly nervous about this. I thought I would have got through this a lot quicker. And it's weird because it feels like I'm getting through this book so much quicker than I actually am. Because it's got such a fast pace, it feels like I've read so much more than I have. But yeah, that's my page 200 update. I will come back to you at page 300, and hopefully that won't be in like 4 hours time. So I'll speak to you when I come. Hello, it is 10 p.m. I'm up to page 300 and things are getting intense. So we've had the first trial, we've seen a couple of people die, but I'm obsessed with Kai and Pedron's like relationship, and just how they're like a banter field, and how they are so there for each other but still like so fighty with each other. I'm obsessed. I'm loving it. I'm really liking as well, we've just got to a part where Pedron is speaking to Kit, who is the future king, and basically is telling him like all of the things that are wrong in the kingdom. I'm going to try and see if I can make myself look slightly less bright. Which I think is really, really good. I'm really liking that she's kind of not telling him off as such, but is basically sort of saying like, hang on, you need to go out to the slums, you need to see what's happening with your people. And as an example, there's a wishing well filled with money, and she's like, this could feed families for months, but yet it's being used for rich people's wishes. And it's just that kind of like really obvious point, which brilliant to be saying to the king, love it, or the future king, brilliant. Yeah, having a good time. It's at 10 p.m. now. I am starting to flag. Gavin is still sprinting. I think I'm gonna basically stay in it with the haul for the long haul until Gav finishes. I didn't join him I joined him like partway through his first sprint. So when did I join? I think I joined about 2 o'clock, and I think he started sprinting at like 1 or something. I think maybe I started at 2:30 and he started at 2. Whatever it was. I've been reading for about 8 hours. 300 pages in 8 hours doesn't seem that great, really, does it? That's good, but it's not amazing. But we're gonna keep going. Going to see if maybe I can get like at least another hour in before I just am too tired, because I've still got 2 more books that I need to read as well, like tomorrow and Sunday, so we'll get going. Yeah, I think that's all of my update. I've got myself a nectarine, because I need some fruit. I had a chippy tea, so I really need some sort of like fibre today, to be totally honest. But let's get back to Powerless. Alright, it's 11:30. I'm at page 365 and I'm calling it. I am going to bed and I will continue reading tomorrow. I'm having a great time, but I'm too tired to carry on reading, so stopping now. But way over the halfway mark. I've got 150 pages left to read tomorrow, plus Powerful. I think we can do this. Should be good. But yeah, it's bedtime now. Good morning. Sorry about the background noise. Kettle is on. Dog is eating her food. I feed her in a scatter bowl because because she just wolfs down food so quickly. This means that it lasts her about 5 minutes rather than about 30 seconds. 5 minutes is an exaggeration. It lasts about 1 minute. Anywho, that's not what we're here to talk about. So, it is Saturday morning. It's about 9:15. And I have had a lie-in, clearly. I'm going to continue reading Powerless. So, yesterday, the lovely Gavin at Gavin Meadsall came to my rescue, unknowingly, with his day-long sprints. And I was like, oh, well, he's not going to be sprinting again all day today. But you know who is? Steph from Steph Loves. Honestly, it's as if they've done it on purpose. This is the final weekend of Final Book Support Group, and Steph is starting sprinting from, well, that's a hard sentence to say. Steph is starting her sprints at 10 AM. She normally goes for quite a while, so I would expect to see her sprinting until like early evening, till like about sort of tea time. So happy with that. I can hopefully get a good amount read on Steph's sprints. I find sprints are so helpful for me when I've got to read something, because it's just that sort of accountability of I need to read because everybody else is reading right now, and I need to be doing this as well. So yeah, I'm going to be watching Steph's sprints from 10 o'clock, so I've got about an hour and a bit before I need to start reading. In that time I need to take Bracken out for a walk. Now this is, sorry, my kitchen's really, really messy. Let's come out of there. One thing, so it's Saturday morning. Normally I take Bracken on a walk through our park. It's a really lovely park. It's very big. We get about a mile's walk around the park. She can be off lead the whole time. Lovely. Unfortunately, on Saturdays at 9 AM, it's park run, and the park run route is the exact same route that me and Bracken take. So I can't really take her for a walk in the park on Saturdays, especially not at 9 o'clock in the morning, because it's full of park runners, which is great. And like, I sometimes join in the park run as well. Me and Bracken have park ran, done the park run ourselves a few times, but it does mean that I need to find somewhere else to walk Bracken, because when there's hundreds of runners I can't have her off lead, and I also can't really walk her on lead when there's hundreds of runners running past, because she'll get in the way, and I just, you know, it's a bit of a faff. So I'm going to have to take her somewhere else. I don't know where yet. There are other walks I can do, but they're not as long. And because I'm going to be spending the whole day literally, like, again, sat on the sofa reading, I want to take her for a long walk this morning, just to kind of like get some of her Springer Spaniel energy out. So yeah, I'll have to take her on a longer walk this morning. I might take you along with me while I do that. And then most of the day is going to be reading Powerless. Hopefully Powerless and Powerful. I should get through both of those two today, is the plan. So yeah, I'm going to have a drink, have a cup of tea, and I'm going to read a little bit now, but I'm then going to take Bracken out, and I will come back to you when I'm actually about to start reading properly. Hello, I still haven't taken Bracken out for a walk. It's 9:30, I'm up to page 400 in Powerless. I've only got 100 pages to go. Sorry about Bracken scratching. Bracken, stop it, darling. So, Page 400 check-in. Things are heating up. So we've got the rebels and their plans about to kind of start, and we're about to enter the final trial. I'm really liking the sort of love triangle-ish. I feel like Kai and Paden are very much the end game like couple. And I think it's a bit weird how, well, I don't. I think it's weird how much Kit, Kai's brother, the future king, is flirting with Paden when he can see how much his brother's into her. Like, I know why Paden's flirting back because of like her mission, but yeah, I think it's a bit strange that that he's kind of like going after her. The other thing that I thought when I was reading this section, we keep on being told that Kai is the future enforcer, but we don't see a current enforcer. So who surely would be the one best placed to like train Kai in being an enforcer? And it seems like Kai's just doing the enforcer's job. So why is he the future enforcer when he's actually the present enforcer? Not an important point. Like, makes no difference to the plot in any way, shape or form, I'm sure. But just something that I noticed. I am still having a great time reading this. I will be honest, I don't think that it is necessarily, you know, I feel like it's not necessarily the best written. It's reminded me kind of Rebecca Yarros, where amazing story, and the story is so good that I'm looking past the few kind of like typos and not necessarily plot holes, but things like with the missing present enforcer, things that just sort of are missing from the world, I guess. But I'm still having a really, really great time reading it, and I'm going to take little Madam out for a walk, and then we'll come back and finish reading Powerless this morning. I'm quite glad that I've read these last sort of like 40 pages this morning, so I've only got 100 pages to go on this one, which feels very easy to do. That should be done in about 2 hours. So if I come back, it's 9:30 now, probably be out for about an hour with Bracken, maybe slightly, yeah, probably about an hour. So I should be done with Powerless by lunchtime, and then Powerful can read this afternoon. I am excited. So I'm going to go out. I will take you along with me, and we'll go for a little walk. What are you doing in there? Well, I'm going to go this way. There she is. You still eating the grass? Silly dog. Come on then. I have to duck down to get through here. Oh, I have to really duck down. Fairly overgrown. Bracken's gone off again. Over there. It's fine. It's fine. She can't go anywhere. I'm going to try to not be attacked by all of the trees in this. You want to run past? Out of the woods. Back onto the footpath. Which is still very, very overgrown actually. We're going to be walking through a couple of fields and then probably back along the road. Don't know where Bracken's gone, just gone on ahead. You hear the road behind me. So this footpath is actually not very far away from the park that we normally walk in. Hello, good girl. She's getting better at doing this, so coming back and checking where I am. I prefer her to stay in sight, but she's a Springer Spaniel, so that's not possible. Yeah, so we're nearly halfway through our morning walk. Are you just having a rest? Are you? Gonna have a little lie down? Silly girl. We're not going down there. We're not going down that path. And some blackberries. And filled a poo bag with blackberries. you needed, Bracken? Oh, great. You're all muddy. Don't puff at me. You're muddy, muddy puppy. Thanks. Right, it is 11 o'clock. Me and Bracken have been on our walk. She is in her bed drying off. She looks like she's very sad in there. Honestly, she's not. She goes in there voluntarily the majority of the time, but I just don't want soggy, gross lake water dog on my sofa. So she's in her bed. We did I think, what did we do? According to my watch, 3.5 kilometre walk. So that's like 2 miles. So that should keep Bracken done for a bit, meaning that I can read. I have got Steph Sprints on. There we are. She is not currently in shot. But I am going to probably make some breakfast. I don't know what I want to eat. I don't know what I've got in. I'm going to start reading in a minute, but I need to eat something first and I don't know what. So that's going to be a decision to make. I also possibly need to go to the shop today. That's another thing that I don't really like doing. Well, I don't mind going food shopping. It's just the effort of going food shopping that I don't like. Does that make sense? Probably not. But yeah, so I also kind of want to make some jam with my blackberries that I picked. There is, and I don't know if you can actually see this. I'm going to see if I can show you this. Can you see it there? My neighbour, this tree here. Can I zoom? This is an apple tree. Whoop, there's my finger. And it's covered in apples. And they do quite regularly fall into my yard, but they're not quite ripe enough to be falling off the tree yet. Oh, I've got a Bella in my yard as well. Just whoop, whoop. Is that there? Anywho, yeah, so the apple tree does quite often like drop apples into my yard. And I can see it's dropped a couple onto the roof. And because I have like foraged all of my blackberries, part of me thinks, oh, wouldn't it be great if I can forage my apples for my blackberry jam? I'm not going to be following a recipe. I'm basically going to be putting in all my blackberries, which I estimate is about 500 grams, plus some, like a couple apples and a bit of lemon juice and some sugar. Pretty much just amounts I measure with my heart. And then just cook it until it looks like till it's done. Which I realise is an incredibly unhelpful sort of recipe, but I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. If I do make some blackberry jam, I will try and like actually tell you what I'm doing and give you a slightly more detailed recipe as and when I'm making it. But yeah, so basically I need apples for that. Apples have pectin in them, that's what makes jam set. And I don't have any apples in my fruit basket. And I kind of want to just like steal a couple off the tree rather than go to the shop and buy any. Because A, like I said just now, going to the shop, effort, can't be bothered. I believe they're Bramley apples on the tree, which is actually what I'm wanting. Cooking apples, more of the pectin that makes stuff set. Eating apples will do at a push, but they won't do it quite as well. I'll need more apples, and I want this to be a blackberry jam, not an apple and blackberry jam. And that's my thought process right now. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. Don't really know anything, let's be totally honest. Let's actually put my face in the light there, shall we? But yeah, gonna have something to eat and then I need to start reading. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock already, so okay, fine. I have I haven't wasted the day. I was sleeping, important. I was taking a dog for a walk, also important. And I've just been updating my stories on Instagram. Not important, but I'm doing it anyway. So that's me. Right, I'm gonna find something to eat and get reading. And I think my next update will be when I've finished Powerless. Hello, it's 1 p.m. I finished Powerless. This is so dramatic by the end. So the last trial, very, very Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire coded with the maze, which kind of moves because it's made of like hedges. I do feel like Lauren Roberts is clearly a fantasy fan, and it particularly sort of like 2000s fantasy, like Harry Potter, Hunger Games. And you can see the inspiration in this. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I also think there's a lot of inspiration from Throne of Glass in here as well. Again, like I said, not a bad thing. Incredibly action-packed, incredibly fast-paced. I am very excited to move on to the next book. Now, I know that Powerful is not, is a sort of side quest novella. I love these sprayed edges with the needle. This one follows Adina and Payden. So Adina is Payden's best friend. We met her throughout Powerless. And this is like their backstory. So I am going to read this one, mainly just because I own it. So it makes sense for me to read it. It's 1 o'clock now. I'm actually going to go to the shop now because I don't have any food in. And I feel like I just need to take like just a little break. So this one is 244 pages. All of this at the end is the first few chapters of Reckless. So yeah, 245 pages. I think I should be able to read that within maybe 3 hours. I seem to be reading at a speed of about 60 pages an hour, but the writing in Powerful is a lot bigger. Like, that text is huge. So I think this one is going to be a lot quicker. I think a couple of hours and I should be able to get that one done. And then on to Reckless. Reckless is, like I said, Reckless is the book that I'm actually working on. So Reckless I need to read in a slightly, I say I need to read in a slightly different manner. That sounds weird. But I need to be reading this one thinking of things like questions, discussion questions, like what we can sort of send out and stuff like that. So there is Reckless, I think, will take me just a little bit longer. Even though it's a lot shorter than Powerless, I think it will take me most of the day because I need to be kind of stopping and thinking and like writing questions and stuff throughout. But like I said, I'm going to go to the shop now, then I'm going to pick up Powerful and we'll continue my Powerless journey. Hello, it's 2:15. I've been to the shop, faffed around, not actually eaten lunch yet, or decided what I'm eating for lunch, but I've kind of, got food in at least now, and I'm about to get cracking on Powerful. So, like I said, this one's only 200 pages. I'm going to do the same things I did before and just check in with you at the 100-page mark. So I'll see you in 100 pages. Hello, welcome to Making Jam with Jenny, who does not have a recipe and doesn't really know what she's doing. So this is where we're at so far. I have put my blackberries in a bowl of water. I've given them a really little stir. Basically, you can see there's all of this like dirt and bits that's floating to the top. That's what I want to get off. The Lidl didn't have any cooking apples, so I've got Granny Smith's because they're quite sour. So I'm hoping we'll do the same thing. I don't really know. And I've got some caster sugar because I don't have like jam making sugar because, again, I shop in Lidl. I'm not going to like Big Tesco to find like proper jam making sugar because honestly, I don't think it makes any difference. I have no idea. I just don't think it will. I just don't. And lemons. And I don't think I need to add liquid, but if I do, I'm gonna add in apple juice. And I might, because I've got like frozen fruit in the freezer, I'm not going to put in blueberries, they're just going to come out of the freezer to make space. I might put in blueberries. I've got frozen blueberries and raspberries, so I might put in some of them. I don't yet know. That will be a decision in a minute when I see how much like stuff I've got. I weighed up my blackberries before I put them in the water, and it's about 300 grams, which I think is a good amount. I'm only wanting to make like a little bit of jam because I picked them all. And I think I'm going to do 2 apples. Again, there is no logic to this. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to peel, core the apples and just chop them up quite small. I might actually grate them instead because they're not cooking apples, so they won't like disintegrate. Yeah, I might grate them because again, I'm not planning to like strain this. I don't like jelly like jams. I like my jams to have bits in. Like I like, you know, raspberry jam with seeds. I don't like seedless. It just feels a bit like slimy. So I'm not going to be straining out all of like the pulp and the seeds and stuff, which is one of the reasons why I'm washing the blackberries, just to kind of get all of that stuff out. So yes, I think I might grate my peeled apples in a minute. Again, like I said, no idea what I'm doing. Gonna make this up as I go along. But to be totally honest, at the end of the day, the blackberries were free because I picked them. Sugar's been in the cup, like all I've paid is like however much a pack of apples were, like 150. And I eat apples anyway, so it's not like it's costing me anything to make this. Right, let's get started. So in my saucepan I have got 2 Granny Smith apples that I have grated. I've got the juice of a lemon, I've got my 300 grams of blackberries and that much sugar. I don't know how much sugar I put in, I just poured some in until it looked like the right kind of amount. It's probably like 200 grams maybe. And I'm going to just stick this on the heat and start boiling it. I also threw in some frozen raspberries and blueberries because, well, to be totally honest, because my freezer's a bit too full. So I've got this on like a medium heat at the moment, just until it comes up to the boil. I haven't added any liquid, this is all just coming out of the fruit. I don't think I need to add any liquid, but basically I want this to come up to a boil and then boil for about 10 minutes or so. So the fruit will all completely break down and should be delicious. That's the plan. I might, not a fan of it, but I might add some chia seeds if when it's like cooked up it feels like it's not actually going to gel quite enough. But I don't know. Let's see how we get on. Good soup. This is obviously now mainly boiling sugar, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to a couple of stirs, just want to make sure nothing is sticking at the bottom. All of this like scuddy bubbly top will dissipate, go away. If it doesn't, if you add a little bit of butter, it makes it all go away. Don't ask me how the science in that works. I don't know, but it works. But I want this now to boil for about like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, until I test it, see if it's jammy. This is looking super delicious and jammy, so I'm going to test it. So to test it, you have to have a cold plate, which I've literally only just put in the fridge, so it's not very cold because I am not very organised. And then you spoon a little bit of your jam onto your not very cold plate. I'm going to put that, I probably should put it back in the fridge, but I'm not going to. You then just need to wait to see if it kind of forms a skin on top, which sounds really, really gross. But if it wrinkles when you push it, oh, you're not even seeing what I'm doing. If it wrinkles when you push it, it means that it's like, oops, at a setting point. We're not really wrinkling yet. Tastes good though. We're starting to get a little bit of a wrinkle. I think I'm going to give it just like another 5 minutes. Also, this is like a safety thing. Oven on gas mark 1. I'm going to put my jars in the oven to warm them up. So basically this is boiling sugar that boils at a much higher temperature than water does. So if this, turn you down a bit, there's a good chance that the jam will crack the glass if it goes in cold. I think we're done, you know. You're looking quite jammy. Then turn you off. Here's my final jam. I've got a big jar full, this one, and like a little jar pretty much full. Top tip from clearly here, the expert, always warm up more jars than you need, because again, like I said, the jam will crack a cold jar. You can always put hot jars, like you can let them cool down, put them back in the cupboard, but you don't want to put boiling hot jam of any kind into a cold jar. So I'm going to let these cool down until I can touch them, basically until I can touch the glass, and then I'm going to put the lids on. Again, if you put the lids on too quickly, it's not good. I think it makes the lids seal on too much, and I think it can also potentially cause mold. I'm not sure. I don't really know reasons for things, okay? I just kind of do. I will clean up the jars again once I can actually touch them, but I'm going to keep them both in the fridge, and I'm going to eat this one first, because this one, once I've sealed it, I could put like a greaseproof paper circle on top, which will seal it in properly. But once I've sealed that one should be fine. But because this one's got quite a big gap, because it's not all the way full, there's quite a lot of like air in there. I've got dog hair stuck on me. There's quite a lot of air that's going to be in there, so again that can cause bacteria. But I'm going to keep them both in the fridge. They'll probably last like a month or two. I don't really know. But that's my jam making escapades. I should probably go and do some reading. Some 100 pages into Powerful. It's, what time is it now? 4:20. I knew, like, this is just a novella and it's not really part of the main storyline. Honestly, 150 pages in, it's nice background information, but it's not adding like anything to the plot. So we meet Adana in Powerless. She is Pei's friend, who is a seamstress, and she's brought in for Pei to be a seamstress. So we're kind of seeing this all happening from her point of view. So it starts with when Pei gets selected for the trials, what Adina's been doing. Now she, at the 100-page mark, has been summoned to the castle. So I personally do enjoy seeing, like, having novellas where we see what's happening from a different character's perspective. And I think like the novella format works really well for that, because I don't want like a full novel from the other character's perspective. My thing which I'm most intrigued about, and I hope is answered in this one, is what happens to Adana, because in Powerless something happens at the end of the book, which Adana is involved with. I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers here. And I hope that Powerful explains sort of how we got to that point, because it wasn't explained in Powerless. So that's kind of my hope of what I'm going to get out of Powerful. But yeah, so far so good. Like I said, this book's only like 220 odd pages, so I'm about halfway through. Hey, boo boo. So yeah, that should be able to finish this one sometime soon. Camera's flashing. I'm going to have to go and change my battery, and then we'll be back when, probably I'm going to just come back to you. I think I might just come back to you when I finish the book. This one is actually 240. Yeah, I think I'm just going to come back to you when I finish the book, rather than stop at 200 and then read the last like sort of 30 pages. So we'll see. Nearly forgot to update you then. It's 7:30. I have finished Powerful. So my thoughts on Powerful. I did really like this one. Again, I really liked getting to know Adina. I do wish... there are questions that I had at the beginning of this one that I wanted to be answered, and they were answered, but they weren't really answered satisfyingly. So what I mean by that, without spoilers, I wanted to know why what happened to Adana at the end of Powerless happened to her, and that was addressed, but not in a way that I was satisfied with. Like it, and I suppose it's sort of... Okay, I can't do this without spoilers. I'm going to hold this up while I mention possible spoilers. When I put this book down, I'm no longer talking spoilers. Okay? 3, 2, 1, spoilers. I wanted to know why Adana was put in the final trial. And the reason of, like, the fact that there was no reason given kind of adds to the whole pointlessness of it and the cruelty of the king. So I do see that, but at the same time, it's really not satisfying to read, to kind of, you know, have like the answer being, oh, she was sort of almost just in the wrong place at the wrong time. She just happened to be friends with the one person that he was wanting to effectively torture. Like, that just wasn't a satisfying ending. Yeah. Right, spoilers over. So I did have a good time with this one. I didn't like it quite as much as Powerless, but not because of anything wrong with this book, but just, again, because we've already seen the story, we're just seeing it from a different perspective. And I really did enjoy that perspective. I really enjoyed getting to know Adina. I have a feeling that in Reckless we are going to see over. And I hope his story isn't over, because I want to see more of him. I think that he's got a lot to add. I think he'll be a really interesting sort of counterpoint to both Payden and Kai. So yeah, I'm excited to get into Reckless. Like I said, it's 7:30 now. I've been reading all day today, and I was reading all day yesterday, and yes, I have got to finish Reckless by the end of the day tomorrow. But I think what I'm going to do is start it. I'm going to probably read, like, I think I've got this one tabbed up in 50-page increments, which is going to be what I'm doing my read along, like, page count in. So I'm going to read the first 50 pages, and then I think I'm going to stop reading, turn on the TV, and, like, I don't know. I can't decide whether I want to. There's a film on Amazon Prime which has got the new one with Henry Cavill. Can't remember what it's called. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare? It might not be called that. I might have made that up. Part of me wants to watch that because Henry Cavill. Or I might just go onto Netflix and carry on binging Friends because I can watch that with like zero brain energy. So yeah, I'm going to read the first 50 pages of Reckless and kind of see whether I have brain energy or no brain energy. And that will probably dictate what I'm going to read. I might jump back into Reckless later tonight, I don't know. But wherever I decide I'm stopping reading, well, I'll update you at the 50 page mark, just in case I don't go back into it tonight. Otherwise, I will be doing my 100 page updates from tomorrow. I forgot. There was something that I wanted to say about Powerful. I'm literally like coming back to you 5 seconds later. Like I was saying, I did really enjoy this. One thing that I found a little bit irritating, and maybe I'm noticing it more because I read the books like really back to back. In Powerless, there's a very like flirty, tension-filled scene where Kai is helping train Paden in how to punch. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I think that scene didn't really make sense in Powerless because we've seen Paden throughout be actually very good at fighting. So the fact that she should have got that far without knowing how to punch doesn't really make sense. But, you know, it involved Kai standing behind her and like holding her hips and like swinging her hips to make sure she's putting her whole weight behind her fist, all of that. The exact same scene is in Powerful, but just with the names changed. And that for me is something that does kind of bug me. And again, I've probably noticed that more than anybody else would because I've read them like completely back to back. But yeah, in this one, like Mac does that exact same scene with the Dana. So he's holding her hips and he's standing behind her and he's moving her arm and he's like, and I really enjoy the scene itself for the kind of, you know, like romanticy of it. But I don't think we need the exact same scene in 2 books. Like, I feel like, you know, we need a little bit more variation. Also, and again, I've just read the prologue of Reckless. This is like how far in I am from when I jumped in just now. Everyone seems to use the same nickname. We've just got the third person whose nickname is A, and could we have a different nickname? Maybe, like there's other names we could use, but that is my only like thoughts so far, which I did just want to say, just because I just did want to say it. Anyway, I'm going to get into Reckless, and I will let you know how I get on when I get on. Hi, it is 10 p.m. I'm going to bed. I did only read the 50 pages of Reckless, so I am only that far through. So it is off to an action-packed start. We are pretty much starting, the book starts about like 2 or 3 days after the end of book 1. So how much can I say without spoilers? At the moment, Paden is on the run, and yeah, I think that she's obviously been through a lot in book 1 with the trials and everything. And yeah, I think that this one is going to be interesting. I'm really hoping to see some more of that fantastic banter. And I'm really hoping that we're going to get like some kind of more deeper character development, especially regarding all of the trauma that they've gone through. So yeah, I mean, I'm only 50 pages through. This book is about 350 pages. No, that's a lie. 388 pages. So I'm still going to get it read tomorrow. I have to get it read tomorrow. But I watched Friends this evening. I was like, no, I'm tired. I need to do something that can turn my brain off, and I don't need any kind of brain energy for it. So watching Friends is the one. Thing is, I also want to get this video edited and uploaded tomorrow, and I want to edit and upload my TBR for Wednesday. So, plus I've got dog training tomorrow as well. So I've got quite a lot actually on tomorrow. I need to finish Reckless. So it should be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just over 300 pages, 330 pages to go. I think I should get that done in about it should be about 5 or 6 hours reading. That sounds a lot when I say it like that, doesn't it? Yeah, no. We'll get there. We will get there, but I need to go to bed right now. So I will see you in the morning. Hello. I think my lens is dirty. I'm going to just deal with it and I'll clean it afterwards. So, 100-page mark of Reckless. This is getting tense. So Kai has caught up with Payden and we're getting the enemies to lovers again. And actually I think that is being done really well, because so often in an enemies to lovers story, you see the enemies, they become lovers, and then you've kind of lost that whole tension that drove book one. But in here, because what happened at the end of Powerless, they are back to being enemies. We've already had like a hate-filled kiss, and I am here for it. Yeah, having a great time so far. Because I'm just over 100 pages in, but we're doing it good. It is Sunday morning. I forgot to say it's now 9:30. So 200 pages to go. I'm feeling confident. Is that delusional? Possibly, but I'm feeling confident. So let's just see. Hello. So I'm up to page 200. It is now 10:45. I feel like I'm reading at quite a good pace. So I'm actually going to take a break for a minute. I'm going to hang out laundry, and I'm going to go and take some Instagram photos. Basically, I need to like batch a ton of photos because I haven't posted for ages, and I need to create a few reels as well. Every now and then I get into like the mood to take like a good amount of photos on Instagram. It doesn't last very long, let's be totally honest, and I then kind of stop posting. But if I have a batch of photos done, at least they're there if I want to start posting again. So that's the plan anyway. So yeah, I'm going to basically go and like try and take at least sort of like, I don't really know. I'm going to just go and batch as many photos as I can in a minute. Do a few reels, hang out laundry, and basically just sort of do that kind of, a few kind of like tasks. Probably also should do some cleaning as well, but I don't enjoy that. And then I'll come back and finish the book. So like I said, 200 pages in, things are getting really, really hot. It is getting really good. We've got an escape scene, which I love. Like, we're pretty much going from like drama scene to drama scene, and honestly, I'm here for it. It is incredibly fast paced. It's very, very quick and easy to read. Sorry if you can hear Bracken drinking. She's been very noisy. But yeah, having a great time so far. But like I said, it's 11:15 and I'm up to page 200. So this book is only I'm over halfway now. And I feel like I've got it. Is that going to be famous last words? Who knows? Ideally, I would like this vlog up today. That does mean I've kind of got to get the book finished probably by about like 2 or 3-ish. So I've got time to edit and like upload it. Normally I try to upload by about 6, but that's not the end of the world. If I can get it up today, that'd be fantastic. We'll see. It's not going to be the end of the world either if I don't get it up today and I need to post tomorrow instead. I prefer today. I prefer it to be put live on Sunday, but I don't mind. So yeah, that's my plan. Hello again. It's 1 o'clock. I have had to get changed because I was very, very sweaty, and I'm now gonna go back to reading Reckless. Steph is on sprints again. Yay! So I'm on page 200. I've got up to about 380 to go. So 180 pages to read. I have made quite a lot of, well, I've made like 5 reels. So that's a good start. I don't know whether I'm going to get around to edit. The worst thing I find with like Instagram particularly is captions. I hate writing captions. They suck, and I mainly hate writing captions on my phone. Just because it takes me longer to type on my phone than it does to type on like a keyboard. Because clearly I'm a boomer. But yeah, so I'm going to carry on reading Reckless, and I will come back to you at page 300. Alright, we are at page 300 and it is 3 o'clock. So I've got like 80 pages left. I'm still loving it. I really don't know what else to say, to be totally honest, other than there is so much tension and it is brilliant. This series is YA. And part of me, and it's go away, Bracken. And it's quite a good YA in that it is a very clean YA. The most like romance there is they kiss. They don't do anything else. There's no suggestion of anything else either. Which is good because it's a YA. But part of me does wish that it was like a new adult or an adult. Probably a new adult. Because there is so much tension that turn that tension sexual, and oh boy would this be good. And I'm like I said, I'm having a great time with this, but I can just see how incredible this would be as a romantasy with like some smut in there. But yeah, like I've said this before, but one of my favourite romance tropes is friends to lovers, because I like the tension, and I feel like friends to lovers has, particularly in contemporary romance, has the tension of, you know, if we do this, we potentially like ruin our friendship. I don't think, personally, I don't think that contemporary romance does enemies to lovers at all. Because there's never seems to be a circumstance in a contemporary life where you have an enemy. Because for me, enemies to lovers is where you will literally kill the person. And Powerless is true enemies to lovers. This is what enemies to lovers is and what it should be. Hi, baby. I think Bracken wants to go out again. We didn't go to... Bracken, okay, you're lovely, but can you just move? We didn't go to agility today because it's too hot, so it was cancelled. Which means that even though she's had her normal length walk this morning, we normally get like double the exercise on Sundays, what with running around at agility, which honestly is exhausting. She loves it though, so I'm gonna have to take her out again in a bit. I'm gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit. It's gonna be maybe an after dinner walk for a little pup. But yes, what I was saying was, this is true enemies to lovers, and it's fantastic. And I feel like, again, if this was written as a adult or like had some smut scenes, basically this is the enemies to lovers that I want to read in romantasy and like in the adult romantasy. I don't want any of that kind of like... this has got the tension that I want, and I like tension. I like the real like kind of visceral feeling of there are stakes, and these stakes are important, and you know, not just, oh, he might not like me. It's, oh no, if this goes wrong, I am dead. Dead. Not coming back. Gone. And that's what I really like. I really like the very high stakes in this. So yeah, page 300, having a great time. My next update will be when I finish. I've got about 8 pages left, so I should finish within the next couple of hours if I carry on reading at the speed I'm reading. It's 5 p.m. and I finished reading, and honestly, so good. That ending, I didn't see it coming. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I did not see that ending coming. And you know what? It's ended in a place which is obviously like, but isn't exactly a cliffhanger. So, yes, hello my lovely one, now get off my lap. So even though I want to know what's going to happen next, it's not ended in a way that I'm like, I need that information now. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like it's ended in a way that book 3 is going to be, again, its own story. And I love that. Like, I do understand and appreciate cliffhangers, but also it's so frustrating when you're reading a book and it ends in a cliffhanger and the next book is not due out for a year. And you're like, well, by the time the next one comes out, I'm going to have forgotten this. And so I'm going to have to reread it. But what I've really enjoyed with the Powerless series is each book has ended in a place where that story arc is over and it ends in a way that you want to carry on. It gives you like a tease to what's going to happen next, but not in a way that makes you kind of go, you know, but it doesn't sort of stop mid-story, if you know what I mean. So yeah, loved the ending. Bracken, you're being quite irritating. Can you go and sit down? Go away. She's not gone away. She's going to climb back on top of me. It is 5 o'clock, which means it is her dinner time. So that is why she's being especially irritating right now. But yeah, had the best time reading Reckless. I am going to go and rate it. I'm not going to tell you my rating. I mean, to be honest, it's you can probably guess that it's not a low rating. But again, like I said earlier, for books that I'm working on, I don't give ratings as such, just because, again, I want ratings to feel like a bit more authentic. Which is why, to be honest, usually I don't actually even mention the books that I'm working on in vlogs. So this has been a bit of a kind of like reviewy vlog. Oh, Bracken. But it's all been positive, so I'm feeling like I can get away with it a little bit. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done. And it's only 5 o'clock, so I've got a whole evening ahead of me. I need to feed. Well, that was a big yawn. Feed this one. Get Bella back inside. She's wandered outside, and feed her. Also, I need to edit this vlog and see if I can get it uploaded tonight. Maybe. And also edit my TBR for Wednesday. That's not so important, obviously. But yeah, I feel like I've got quite a lot of footage for this one. I feel like this weekend vlog is gonna be quite long. So if you have made it this far and you stuck around, thank you so much. Let me know if you have or are planning to read the Powerless series. If you would like to join me on the read-along, sign up to the Tandem Collective and come and join me. If you sign up with your own copy as well, you can come and have a chat with me in DMs. But otherwise, if you've got nothing else that you would like to say, but you just would like to let me know you're here, please leave me a sword or dagger emoji because of the cover of Powerless. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave me a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.